Shalom to Israel. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Barakathum to all the brothers, which simply means, may the Most High guard you in the name of Awad Salakia. Yahweh, Salakia, man. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Barakathum. May the Lord bless you, Salakia, in the name of Christ. Then to the ladies or the sisters, we say, Yahweh Shamar Al-Athan Bahashim Yahweh Shai, which means may the Lord watch over you in the name of Christ. We are the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, has been teaching the truth of the Bible. And that truth includes the fact that so-called blacks, so-called Latinos or Hispanics, a so-called First Nation or Native Indian people are the true Israelites, God's chosen people, the true Jews, the future rulers of the planet Earth under Christ, according to the Bible, right? So, the ISUPK has been and always will be the home of the truth, right? And the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, we're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group, sect, religion. The ISUPK stands alone on its own merit. Understand? We stand on what we teach. You understand? We stand on the Bible, every word in it. We stand on it. Okay? I'm Officer Yanazar, Officer of 1,000 Yanazar, here in beautiful Durham, North Carolina. And tonight we're going to learning a little bit more about the Lashawan Qadash, which is the holy tongue or the holy speaking or the holy language, right? Which is Hebrew, a language that goes all the way back, you understand, to a man named Eber, and even before that. It's a very ancient language, and we could verify this in the Bible. Okay? So now, the Lashawan Qadash. I already got my topic. What we're going to go into today is the 12 tribes, right? Because the 12 tribes of Israel is us. We're the 12 tribes, you understand? And we're going to get their names, what the names mean, and who their mother is, right? And that's what we're going to do tonight, right? It's 12 tribes, you understand? But it's going to be more like 13 names. And we'll explain that when we get to it, right? But before we get to it, I want everybody that's hearing this or watching this broadcast, right? Please give thanks to the Most High for the truth, for the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. And the reason why I'm saying this at this point is because, part of our job is to become socially aware of what's going on in the earth. That's a responsibility that was given unto us, because unto us was committed the oracles of God, right? So we see the things that's going on in and out of the earth, you understand? And so we have to understand it. We have to have the right frame of mind, the right perspective. And that's one perspective, one mind, one spirit, one Lord in ISUPK. So give thanks to the Most High. Wada Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Thank you, Lord, in the name of Christ, right? Because we see the things that these devils, the rulers of the earth today, you understand, are putting forth. You see the evil that they intend to do, you understand, because he has come down to you with great wrath, because he knows his time is short. So he wants to accumulate whatever he can in the time by which he remains on the earth. You understand? And as we in ISUPK know that the 12 tribes of Israel are the prime targets, you understand, for his evil to be perpetrated upon, right? So before we get into the class, let me see who we got here in the class today. Okay, so we got Sister Nashama in the building, right? We got Sister T in the building. We got Sister Jasmine in the building, and we got young man Desaron in the building so far. And we got Trooper Yazakar in the building. The water y'all for tuning in. Understanding, like in ISUPK, like we are supposed to be of one mind. You understanding how are we to be of one mind is that we learn the same truth. We rely on the same Lord, and we obey the commandments of God and the faith in Christ. That's how we basically stay in one mind. You understand? So we see so many things that's going on in the earth today, right? So now, what are we to be thankful for, right? So if somebody say you should be grateful or you should be thankful, then what are you thankful for? What should you be thankful for? And this is very important. Understand what I'm saying? Because the Most High has been beyond merciful to us. So what we're going to do right now, just for a couple of minutes, we're going to go through some scriptures, right? In the book of Revelation, chapter 7. I might read a couple of verses in chapter 6, but to understand what it is that we're going to go through moving forward, right? Okay? So this is the book of Revelation. And I'm going to go into chapter 6. And this is, I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, "And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of," verse 13, "and the stars of heaven fell to the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind." Right? So you can picture a tree before the figs have really ripened, a strong wind comes and blows them from the tree before their time, right? Verse 14, "And the heavens departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places." Of course, this is talking about the coming of Christ, and the figs that were shaken before their time was us. You understand? Verse 15, "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty man, and every bondman, which is a slave, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains." So what the dens are is all of these little what do you call these little places that they're building now? And I can't think of the word right now. Places of refuge. I guess the word just will not come to me. All of these shelters, you understand, for the rich, that the rich are building all around the world, you know, in the USA and Hawaii and other places. In the South Pacific, they building all of these bunkers. That's the word I was looking for. They're building all of these bunkers. So that's what he's talking about. They're going to hide themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. The rocks of the mountains, of course, are caves. And also they're building bunkers in the mountains. They're drilling through rocks, all of these things. They drilling through these mountains and building these bunkers, right? So now, and verse 16, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, hideth us from the face that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. In case you didn't know who the Lamb is, that's Yahushua Mashiach, because that's what this is talking about. This is talking about a certain point that's about to go down in history when Christ returns and cracks that sky. Verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Understand? When Christ comes back, who's going to be able to stand on that day? So let's get a little bit why we should be thankful, right? I'm going to go to chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God. Don't destroy everything until we've sealed the servants of God, until they're sealed, right? Now, of course, we're going to find out who those servants are, you understand, and how and why we should be grateful thereof, right? Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144 and 4,000 of the tribes of Israel. So these 144,000, in case you didn't know it, is not the whole content of the amount of people of Israel that's going to be saved. These are the ones that are going to be the government in the kingdom under Christ. These 144,000. And then it goes on to say, verse 5, 12,000 of the tribe of Judah, 12,000 of the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 of the tribe of Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, which is the tribe referencing with Joseph, and Benjamin, who are the West Indians, right, of course. So now, this is saying that before the destruction, those 144,000 has to be sealed, meaning chosen or selected. Like these are the ones, right? Now, this is chapter 7, Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. And this I beheld, and in a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne. So now what this is telling you is that 144,000, and then it's the rest of Israel, because Israel is scattered into every nation on the earth, speaking every language. That's what it's talking about. And we're going to prove it in this very chapter, right? Stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands, right? So you got the 144,000, and then you got this great multitude of people also, right? That's wearing white clothing, right? So I lost myself. And page by accident. Lord. So now, verse 10. And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation unto our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. Right? So once again, we have 144,000, and then we got the rest of those who earned their white garment, those who are going to be saved and rule in the kingdom and live in the kingdom, right? And verse 11, and all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worshiped the Most High. Verse 12, saying, Amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God, because the Most High already told us who this is talking about in these previous verses. Our God. Understand? So that's what they call it, a possessive pronoun, right? It says, honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Verse 13, and one of the elders answered, saying, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? Meaning, who these, all of these people, and where they came from? That's what's being asked here. And so the answer is partially in verse 14. It says, and I said unto him, Sir, knoweth, Salakia, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are they which came out of the great tribulation. So it's not just 144,000, it's all the people of Israel, you understand, that come back to the Lord. You understand? That's going to come through the great tribulation, which is about to go down, which is happening as we speak. And this is to help us. We're taught these things to help us in preparation for what's about to go down. And what's about to go down is glorious to us because we know the outcome. It's going to be hard and it's going to be difficult. Right? These are they which came out of the great tribulations and have washed their robes and have made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So, of course, Christians taking blood literally, understand, but what it's talking about is going through it, going through the hardship, the persecution, understand, the oppression, understand that we're going through here in this kingdom, and that we have to hold on through it. Verse 15, therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. So he that sitteth on the throne that dwells among us is not the Most High in heaven. It's talking about Christ. Verse 16, and they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light upon them, nor any heat. Verse 17, for the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water. And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes. So what this is talking about is the victory. And everything we do in the Isupk, in every class that we teach, understand, is a building block towards the victory that's ahead for us. And all we have to do is stay in here, keep our nose to the grind, obey the laws, statutes, and commandments, and the faith in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Jesus Christ. And this is our reward. This is what we're in here for. We're in here for victory because this is not life for us. Life for God's chosen people, for the greatest people that ever lived on the earth, is rulership, man, and righteousness, man. That's life for us. And we're not accepting anything less than that. You understand? So when we separate ourselves and become holy, Qadash, from the other nations, don't take it lightly. It's very serious. Now, I'm going to check and see if we got any questions, and then we're going to get into our class tonight. That's right, Sister Nashima. That's right. We should be grateful for all of that. You understand? Because it's about to go down. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, I was listening to Captain Katazar last night, and he was bringing out a lot of heavy points. And one thing that he did say, among many righteous things that the brother did say, was that he's never seen anything that was taught and prophesied in the ISUPK that has not come true. That's heavy. Like, you stay in here and you'll come to know and understand what he's saying. Because I've heard Commander General Yohana prophesize of certain things, even the things that they're doing now. You understand what I'm saying? Even when the Bible talks about this evil government, they're putting it in place as we speak. Commander General Yohana spoke about the fascist, I can't say that word too good, fascist system that's about to come into play. And that we have to be prepared, because when it says that we have to come through the blood of the Lamb, meaning the tribulation, the hardship of what's about to go down. And the only way that we're going to be able to remain strong is in this truth. That's the bottom line, right? So we should be grateful, man. And listen, don't be afraid, because we already got the victory. All we got to do is stand fast and stand strong in this truth. That's what you got to do. Okay? But we're the winners. You know, one of the best things I ever heard Commander General Yohana say about 3-4 years ago, he said, don't worry about it, because this time we win. Because we have the Most High in Yahushua. You understand? To defend us, to bring us salvation from our enemies. Okay? So now we're the 12 tribes of Israel, right? 12 sons, 12 tribes, 12 nations, right? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give everybody that's watching the names, where you can go and look up the name. We got it in the Assyrian Hebrew or the modern Hebrew. We got the transliteration. We have what the name means, and I'm going to go over every one of them. I only got 8 on the board. There's going to be 5 more, right? And I'll explain that as we go along. And then we have their mothers, because the 12 tribes of Israel had 4 mothers. They had Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah. In other words, Jacob had 4 wives that produced the 12 tribes. So just common sense and thinking, would the Most High make a holy nation from a sinful act? That's the question. We already know the answer. So Leah, which was the first wife of Jacob, who was renamed Israel, Yasha'Allah in the Hebrew, bore him 6 sons. And over here, you got the ancient Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash, and we'll go over that as well. Get your pencils and paper ready, and you can write these down and keep it for the record, because all of this is official. Okay? So I went to the concordance. I got the word, the number, and the name, and the definition, the mother. I got it all for you. because the Most High provided it all for us to understand who we are. You understand? To know ourselves, we got to know where we came from, right? And one of the things that we're going to point out tonight also is that these brothers, their names had meanings, and the meanings were appropriate to what was going on at the time of their birth or their inception or conception. Salakia. So, the first brother, the oldest, to understand Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indian, you got to understand the plight, or not the plight, or the journey of these brothers, man, to understand what happened. Because what they did and how they lived make us what we are today. And it plays directly into the prophetic, you understand, destiny that we have. And I'll show you a little bit of what I mean here. So we got the brother Reuben. Reuben is the firstborn. Reuben is the firstborn, which is H7205, right? In the concordance, right? Or if you go in the Blue Letter Bible, you can see all of these names in the book of Genesis, chapter 49. And you'll see all of these names. You go to the Blue Letter, you go to Tools, and you bring up the Hebrew, and it gives you the Hebrew number for the word. You hit on that number, and you get all this information that I'm providing for you that has been provided for me. Salaki. Salaki, just a second. Yeah, man. I just wanted to let you know that the internet and everything is fine here. But I did call them, and for some reason they had turned it off. But I gave them the they had turned it off. They had no reason because I got the slot. I got the proof that when they give you the number when you pay the bill. Yes. The confirmation. I read up the confirmation numbers. So I said, well, how come it was on Wednesday, but it wasn't on yesterday? And he couldn't give me that, but he turned it back on immediately. So I got the confirmation. I don't know that the cat know that it was off. No, I never. We came to the agreement that I always come to you first. You feel what I'm saying? So I always want to come to you first. Okay, the water. Because we agreed to that. I remember that. So now, right. So I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm in auto pay. What's the problem? You feel me? And so he turned it right on immediately. I mean, immediately it came right. I don't know why they turned it off. I was like, why did you turn it off? Because the confirmation number, I paid it on the 6th of January. So that's crazy. Okay, so we good. I just wanted to let you know we good to go. Kind of one kind. Yeah, because I gotta get on this. Okay. No, they didn't turn it off. We good to go. We got lights, everything set. Okay. All right. I am the boss, sir. Salam, okay, Salakia for that. So where was I? Reuben, H7205. That's the word Reuben is the Hebrew word 7205. And in the modern Hebrew or the Assyrian, it's spelled with the Ra, with the Ra, the Ah, the Wa, the Ba, and the Na. Ra'albun, is how it's pronounced in the Hebrew. Reuben is pronounced Ra'awabun. He's the oldest, the firstborn of Jacob or Israel or Yasha'Allah in the Hebrew, right? Ra'awabun, his name means behold a son. You understand? Behold a son. That's what Ra'awabun means. He's the firstborn. And when a son was born, like to righteous people, they showed gratitude in many ways because they understood the importance of a child, and particularly your firstborn son was special. So his name, behold a son, his mother was Leah. His mother was Leah, right? Now, his name in the Lashawan Qadash, or the ancient Hebrew, or the Paleo Hebrew, is Ra, Wa, Ba, Na. Ra'awabun, Ra'awabun. He's the firstborn of Israel. His mother was Leah. You understand? She bore 6 out of the 12 sons. She's the mother of 6 out of the 12. The other 3 sisters had 2 children each. We're going to go into that. But if you want to start learning the Hebrew, right? Okay, also I want to let you know we're trying to get some new ones made. I might have one left. That we have these sheets. I'm trying to get Officer Thabawan to make a better copy because they're kind of fuzzy now because we done ran so many copies off. But we will have these sheets if you want to learn the Hebrew. And of course, just like any other language, the first thing you have to learn, of course, is the alphabet and the sounds that it makes. So, and I have a few of these, but if you want one, you understand what I'm saying? You just come to class. I'll try to have some more printed. But we're trying to get some. These are not too bad, but we can do a little bit better, and hopefully we'll have a better print in the near future, okay? But this is the Hebrew. We have the ancient here, all 22 letters, and then we have the Assyrian here, all 22 letters. Now, although they're different letters, they're in the same sequence, and they have the exact same sounds because the language didn't change. It's just that we was under the Syrian captivity and we were forced to change. You understand? That's a whole nother class for a whole nother day. So now, the second son of Israel is Simeon in the English, H8095. Hebrew word H8095. And the transliteration, but before we get to the transliteration, we're going to go, it's the Shah, the Ma, the I, the Wa, and the Na. And it's the transliteration, Shama'ai one. Shama'ai one. Shama'ai one is Simeon. Simon in the New Testament, it's the same name. Shama'ai one. Because Simon in the New Testament, Simon was his Hebrew name. Peter was his Greek name. That's why they called him Simon Peter. It's Simeon or Shama'ai one. Right? And his name means the Lord has heard. Now, let me give you a little backdrop to what was going on. Israel had 2 wives, and Leah was the oldest of the 2, and Israel was paying more attention to Rachel, because Rachel, according to the scriptures, was more beautiful than Leah. Right? So she made a prayer to the Most High, and the Most High gave her another son. And because she said, that, that would help her in her relationship with Israel, because these are what we call today, what we call blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indians. In short, these are niggers. Okay. So now the Lord has heard. Leah is the mother of Shemaiah or Simeon. In the ancient, it's the Shah, the Ma, the I, the Wa, and the Na. Shemaiah. The Lord has heard. Right? The Lord has heard. These brothers had great names, man, righteous names. The names were given to them for appropriate reasons. Right? That we do understand. Now, where the hell did I put my phone? Okay. Shemaiah. Then the third brother, and of course, don't forget that there was a daughter born. Her name was, what was her name? Damn. Dinah was the daughter. She was the 13th tribe. I mean, the 13th child. She wasn't a tribe because she's a woman. Okay. So now, Levi, H 3878. H, Hebrew word 3878 in the concordance. Right? The La, the Wa, and the Ya, Loya. That's where the word lawyer comes from. Laya. And his name means to be joined to. You understand? To be joined to. To be joined to. And his mother also was Leah. You understand? And La was Ya. Loya. Levi is the way that the English translated it. Levi, but it's Loya. Because, of course, they didn't really have, because by the time English rolled around, the ancient Hebrew had become a non-functional language. It was almost lost to the world. And guess who brought it back? See, they brought back a version of what they call Hebrew, which is really called Yiddish, but it was the Isupk since 1969 that brought back the Lashawan Qadash. The original writing, or the oldest Paleo, they call it Paleo Hebrew. It's the Isupk. And having this Paleo Hebrew gave us a great advantage, because that's the language by which the scriptures was revealed. So we were able to determine, you understand, the truth of the Bible in our own language. You understand? Understanding that in Hebrew, there's a lot of contextual. Every word has multiple contexts, multiple applications. I have not seen a word in Hebrew that does not have multiple applications or context, except for Yahweh. The word Yahweh just means one thing. That's the name of the Most High God. That's it. Whenever you see that word, that's what it is. So H 3878, Loya, joined to his mother's Leah as well, as I said, in the ancient Loya. So now the fourth son. Let me see if we got any questions. We got Sister Sapaya in the building. Shalom, sis. Y'all Shamala Thumba Shemal Shah. We got Trooper Choir Bar in the building. Shalom, my brother. Y'all ba Shemal Shah Barakatah. So the fourth son is Judah. Judah, so-called African Americans. Oh, let me break it down for you. Reuben is the tribe of the Seminole Indians. That's Reuben. The Seminole Indians and the Indians of the southeastern part of the United States. You understand? The Choctaw and certain other tribes is, and the Cherokee, those are Reuben. That's Reuben. Simeon is what we call today, you understand, the Dominicans. That's Simeon. And Levi is the Haitians. That's Moses. Moses was a Levite, as was many other famous, like the prophets and the famous men in the Bible consisted of, they came out of every tribe. It wasn't one tribe that all of the great men came out of, because all of these nations, all of these tribes are great. You understand? That's why it's 12,000 of each tribe, right? So we got Judah, H3063. Judah, the so-called Black African American, the Negro, right? But that word Black and Negro could also apply to Haitians and to West Indians. That word, H3063, is Yahwadah. 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 The Yah, the Ha, the Wa, the Da, the Ha. Yahwadah is the transliteration, right? Which is the proper pronunciation of the word Judah, because this is how it's spelled. Yahwadah, the Lord is praised, and sometimes you'll hear the Lord is thanked. But that's what the name Yahweh, the Lord, Yahweh, is praised or thanked. And his mother, once again, is Leah. Leah is his mother. So that's 4 for Leah. Yahwadah. Yahwadah. In the ancient, it's the same thing. It's the Yah, the Ha, the Wa, the Da, the Ha. Yahwadah. The Lord is praised. H3063. Right? That's Yahwadah, the so-called African American, the tribe of Christ, the tribe of David and Solomon, right? The 5th one, H2075, is Zebulon. Zebulon, with the Za, the Ba, the La, the Wa, and the Na. In the Hebrew, it is properly pronounced Zabalawan. Zabalawan means exalted. Exalted. He is exalted. So, quick story. Pardon me just a second again. Okay, just a little tidbit of information, right? Although Reuben was the firstborn, he didn't get the blessing. Just like Esau was the firstborn, he didn't get the blessing. Reuben didn't get the blessing for some behavior that he showed, right? And I don't really want to get into it because it's going to take a minute. But Reuben didn't get the blessing. The blessing went to Judah for some of his behavior. You understand? Meaning all of the kings of the southern kingdom came out of Judah, right? Including Christ, Solomon, David, and all of those other kings you read about in the book of Kings came from the tribe of Judah. That was made law by the Most High God. You understand? I think it's in 1 Kings chapter 7. The next brother, Zabalawan, exalted Leah, the Za, the Ba, the La, the Wa, and the Na. Zabalawan. Zabalawan exalted. Leah is his mother, right? And el número 6, or number 6, Issachar. In the English, Isupk, the so-called Mexican. The so-called Mexican is a very capable people. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And they're good at strategizing. And you'll learn that as you move further. Isupk, H3485, the Mexican, so-called Mexican. The Yah, the Shah, the Ka, and the Ra. Properly pronounced, Yashashakar. Yashashakar, Isupk, Yashashakar, the Mexican. And his name literally means he is hired. He can do the job. That's what his name means. Look it up. It's in the prophecy pertaining to him in Genesis 49, I think it's verse 14, or is it verse 8? He is hired. Yashashakar, Salaki. He is hired. His mother name is Leah also. Leah is his mother. So those are the 6 children, and here it is in the ancient. Okay, under here you see these little symbols under there. Those are the connectors. We'll get into that maybe next week. For those of you who don't know, you understand? Yashashakar, the Mexican. You understand? The so-called Mexican, the Native American, because the Mexican people are native to America. They came over here with the rest of the tribe to a place where no man dwelled before. Yashashakar, he is hired. Leah is his mother. Right? So now, number 7, H1835, Dan, the Da and the Na, Dan. His name means a judge. He's a judge. Dan. Now, if you notice, when you get to the book of Revelation, Dan is not counted amongst the 12 tribes. And the reason for that is Dan was absorbed into a few of the tribes, particularly Manasseh, which is the so-called Cuban. We're going to get into that a little bit of time allowed. Okay? His mother, Dan, a judge, was Bela. Now, quickly, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of what happened with that deal. Rachel, remember, he had 2 wives originally, and Rachel, his favorite wife, was barren for a good minute. And so she had a handmaid. You understand? A maid. And so she was so thirsty to have a child, she gave Israel or Jacob her handmaid to have children with her. So Dan was the fruit of that union. And of course, once he had intercourse with her, she was his wife, because that's the law in our culture and in the law, statutes, and commandments. When you have intercourse with a woman, she is your wife. And I don't care who don't like it, especially the people in the world. Understand? They don't understand how important it is. Understand? Because the world has made sexual intercourse some kind of play game, some kind of act that you do for pleasure, to be used at your whim. But that's not how the Most High designed it. He designed it so that when you do it, you're joined together forever. Understand? So Dan, a judge, the Da, that's like one of my favorite letters in the alphabet in the ancient, is the Da, because this right here is Dawada. The 2 Das turned upside down. Dawada, which became the seal or the symbol of the nation of Israel. And those so-called small hats, they stole it. Just like they stole everything else. The da and the na is Don, a judge. And I hope that you're writing these down because this is all the information that you might need pertaining to them moving forward because it's not going to change. Okay? All right? Now I'm going to do this last one, and then I'm going to erase some of them, you understand, and put the others up on the board. So now, number eight, Asher, H36. 836, H836. Hebrew word number H836. Ashar, right? The the Shah, and the Ra, Ashar means happy, glad, happy. Understand? There's many applications for that word now. But that name, the brother that's named Ashar or Asher in the English, his name meant happy. His mother's name was Zilpah. Zilpah was his mother. So we got three mothers. We got Leah with 6. We got Bilhah with 1 so far, and Zilpah with 1. Ashar. Asher in the English, Ashar in the Hebrew. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a minute, quick minute. Please write these down. You understand? And then I'm going to erase them because we got some more names that we got to put up there. Yeah, there's more. Right? Asher, happy. Salaki, just a second. Let me check and see if we got any questions in the chat. All right, let me see. Okay. Most High in Christ says. Okay, so no questions in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Here I is. Do your thing. So now, what we're going to do, this is 7. There's actually 6 more, and I'll explain to you why. Because 6 and 7 is 13, right? It's not 12. But what happened was Dan was absorbed into the nation because they were producing mostly women. And Joseph, who we're going to get to, had 2 sons, one named Manasseh and another named Ephraim, became 2 tribes because Joseph names, well, we'll get to it, became 2 tribes. The tribe of Dan, according to what I've been taught, is mostly absorbed into Manasseh, the so-called Cuban. Asher is, I think, Argentina. Let me shut up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Let me get the chart out and see if I can get it right. Oh, sometimes I forget too as well. Asher is Colombia. They're in South America. Salakia, forgive me, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly where Asher is located. It's located in, like, they're spread throughout 3 countries in Latin America, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And I'll get that information for you. Salakia, that's my bad. Okay. So now I'm gonna erase a few names. I pray that you have written down the information that you need pertaining to these tribes. Just hold tight. Just bear with me. If anybody has any questions or wants to get this information or weren't able to copy it, you can always call me and I'll provide you with that information. Or you can go to Blue Letter Bible, or if you have a Bible concordance, you can look it up. Okay? This information doesn't belong to anybody, it belongs to the whole nation of Israel. Okay. Let me get. Number 9 on our list of the greatest people on the planet Earth. Number 9 is Gad, which is H1410. So I can't do that wrong. Gad H1410. And of course, Gad is the transliteration or the pronunciation. Gad. It means, in the Assyrian, it's the Ga and the Da. It means a troop or a trooper, singular. A troop. Gad, right? His mother name was Zilpah. Zilpah was the mother of Gad. And of course, in the ancient Gad, troop, a troop. You understand? And his prophetic prophecy, that word troop is in his prophecy. Gad is the North American Indian of the northern part of the United States. The Plains Indian going out west, that's Gad. Understand? That's the tribe of Gad, right? Gad. Now, the next brother we got is Naphtali. that's right. English. Naphtali, which is H5321. Yeah. H5321. Right? And with the ancient, with the Assyrian, it's the Nap. Let me get it right. Pa. Oh, Salakia. That's modern. The Na, the Pa, the Tha, the La, and the Ya. Na, Pa. Just want to make sure I'm correct. Napatalia. 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 Right? Is how you pronounce Naphtali. His name meant or means my wrestling. Meaning she was having a hard time with him. She was having a hard time when he was born. She having a problem with her sister. You read all about this in Genesis. So she named him my wrestling, not my Naphtali, who is also one of the South American tribes. And his mother's name was Bilhah or Bilhah. Bilhah, right? And in the ancient, Na, Pa, Napatal, Ya. Napatalia. The Na, the Pa, the Tha, the La, and the Ya. Napatalia, my wrestling. His mother is Bilhah. Right? Bilhah. He's number 10. Right? Number 11. Napatalia. My wrestling, my struggle. The next one is Joseph. Which is H3130. Hebrew word 3130. Right? The Yah, the Wa, the Sa, and the Pa, Yahweh-Sap. Yahweh-Sap. Joseph in the Hebrew is Yahweh-Sap. Yahweh-Sap, right? His name means the Lord added or increase. Yahweh-Sap. His mother is Rachel. Yawasop. Yawasop. Right? Joseph. Now, the reason why it's going to be 13 is because, as I said earlier, Dan was absorbed. This is a lot of information, but Dan was absorbed. And so the two sons of Joseph, which was Ephraim and Manasseh, became the tribes, right? They became two tribes. When you subtract one tribe, you understand? That makes it 11, right? And then the two, I'm getting my math wrong. It makes it 10. No. Let me get it right. It's a lot. The right way is going to come to me, the right explanation. So you take away Joseph, this is it. You take away Joseph and Dan, and you put in Ephraim, right? Which represents Joseph, and Manasseh. Those are the 12 tribes. Okay. So number 12 would be Manasseh. Manasseh, which is 4519H 4519. H 4519 is Manasseh. 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 Manasseh, which means causing to forget. Right? Now, Rachel is technically his mother, but Joseph, you understand, had his mother was Rachel. So Manasseh's mother was a sister named Asenath. She was not a wife of she was not the wife of Jacob or Israel. She was the wife of Joseph, Israel's son. But the Lord gave him two tribes. And we're going to see, maybe we can get into that a little bit with the little time that we have left, okay? Causing to forget, his mother was a sister named Asenath. That's Yah, Wah, Sa. Yah, oh, Salah. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's Manasseh. Manasseh, right? Now, Manasseh and Ephraim or Aparium had the same mother. This sister here was the mother of both of them. She was Joseph's wife. Right? So, number 13, of course, is Ephraim, which is H669. H669, which is the oh goodness, I'm messing up big time. I got to be consistent. Aparium, the ah, the pa, the ra, the ya, the ma. Aparium Aparium. That's the so-called Puerto Rican today. And as I said before, his name means double fruitful. Double fruitful. That's what the name Aparium means, right? Aparium. Now, actually, it's 14 take away 2 equals 12. Salakia. You know what I'm saying? I'm back in grade school. So number 14, which is the last born out of the 12 tribes, Benjamin, the so-called West Indian. Benjamin, Trinidad, Jamaica. Benjamin, right? Benjamin is H1144, which is Ban Yam Salakia. Bond Yam Yun. Banyamyan. Right? His mother was Rachel. So Rachel gave birth to Joseph and Benjamin. Right? And Benjamin's name simply means the son of the right hand. The son of the right hand. Shalom. Yabba Shemal Shabbatah. Musa Craig. Benjamin, the son of the right hand, his mother is Rachel. So now, once again, Joseph became 2 tribes, making it 13, and then Dan was subtracted, bringing us back to 12. So when you go to Revelation chapter 7 and you see the 12 tribes, you won't see Dan and you'll see Joseph, but Joseph is actually represented by Ephraim, right? Ephraim is Joseph. Ephraim is Joseph, and Manasseh, meaning Ephraim, got the blessing from Joseph instead of the firstborn Manasseh, that's a whole nother story there, okay? That we'll get into one day. Just hang in there. These are the 12 tribes of Israel and their mothers, right? The 12 tribes, the people from which your bloodline flows. Your bloodline flows from these brothers and these sisters, right? So what are we at? Yeah, so we over the time. We didn't get no questions today. You know, I love answering those questions if I could. He's saying the camera's turned around. Let me see if I can get it. I want you to have an opportunity to, right. To write these down. You know what I'm saying? But I got all the information for you, but if you could write them down, that would be appropriate for your records, you know? And as we teach the Lashawan Qadash, the holy tongue, we go over things over and over again, okay? Because we want to, first thing we have to do is before you advance in the language, that's dependent on your own capability and your own desire, you got to get the understanding of who we are and where this language came from. And we as a people. So what we're trying to do and what we're actually doing is we're reclaiming who we are. We're taking back our culture. You understand, which was stolen from us. But the Lord said he would return it to us, right? Along with our language. I'm going to read that for you in the book of Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 7, and then we're going to close it out. This is the book of Zephaniah, right? Chapter 3 and verse 9. And it reads this as such. Of course, this is talking about in the last days. And it says, for then will I turn to the people a pure language. So in the Hebrew, we understand that this is the restoration, that we're going to get our language back because our language is pure. Saul describes it as the language or the tongue of the angel, holy, in Corinthians 13 and 1. For then I will return to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. Meaning that we all, in order to speak the name of the Most High God, you have to say it in Hebrew, Yahweh. That's how it's pronounced. That's his name forever. And in order for us to say his name forever, he has to restore to us the pure language, the language that has not borrowed not one word from any other tongue, the language that has not changed for thousands upon thousands of years. You understand? It's called the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash. And with that, we're going to shut it down. Hey, man, tune in. The Chain Breakers is about to do their thing. Okay? So with that, I thank everybody for tuning in, right? And I say unto you, shalom, until the next time. Yahba Shemal Shah Barakathum, Yahweh Shamala Thunba Shemal Shah. And remember, we got plenty to be thankful for. Because outside of this truth is nothing but death and destruction, man. And that's what they got planned for us, but this time we win. Shalom. Yo, what's poppin'?